Hi there, welcome to Transcona Trailer Sales. Today we're walking you through your 2012 Wildwood Heritage Glen 312Qbud. We are just going to start off at the back of the unit. If you notice at the back, that's where you're going to have your little portable barbecue as well as your spare tire. And then coming around the passenger side, but you do get access to both sides. Pulling the bumper cap, it's typically where you're going to store your sewer hose. It just keeps as much smell out of the unit as possible. Then coming up a little bit ahead here, get your standard 30 amp connection. Most campsites should have this and you can plug right on in, but let's say you have the unit at home and you want to run your fridge, or your campsite only has 15 amp service, which is your standard household outlet. We do include that 15 amp park adapter. Just keep in mind whenever you are using it, you're going down in power, so you won't be able to run your air conditioner. Realistically, it's just to run your fridge and your lights. Got your exterior shower here, that opens up with your standard 751 key. Then you're gonna have your black tank flush. So it's very important that you do have your black tank valve open and your sewer hose connected. Reason being, when you're pushing pressure inside of that tank, that pressure has to have somewhere to go, otherwise it could burst that tank or crack it. Whenever you are, I do recommend using it after every couple tanks. City water connection, if you're at a site with service, you can just thread a garden hose in there, turn it on. It's going to pressurize all those lines without the need to run your water pump. Then you get your fresh water connection, and that is what fills your fresh tank. Coming down below, this is going to be your first sewer drain. You're gonna have another one up ahead. Sorry, this is your only sewer drain. So connect your sewer hose. You got one valve here. You're gonna have another valve right back there at the elbow here. Right inside here is just some storage space. It's also where you're gonna find that starter kit. Comes with a 15-foot water hose, 10-foot sewer hose, and some other miscellaneous goodies, including that 15 amp park adapter. Then you're gonna have another storage space inside here with some storage. It goes right through to the other side. And then coming around to the front of the unit, you got your battery, which is located inside that box there. And then right up top, you do get your 2 propane tanks. This cover slides right up in place in case they were to run low. This valve here, with it pointed this way, you're gonna be drawing off this tank counterclockwise like any standard barbecue to open up the flow. If this tank were to go empty, you just gotta close it off, switch this over to the other side, and you can start drawing off that tank. Power tongue jack up at the front. That's the other side of your sewer hose, and then right here, you can open this cap. This is going to be the first of 2 electric stabilizer jacks. They both work the same way. I'm going to show you how the front ones work today, but you do have a rear set as well. Push and hold that extend button. The jacks are going to start making their way down. Just keep it in mind, it is an open gear system, so sometimes the legs might go up or down at different paces. Don't panic if that starts happening, just let it do its thing. Keep it in mind, they are stabilizing jacks, they're not leveling jacks, so it's always good to level your trailer before you stabilize it. Once those jacks do reach the ground fully, you're going to hear the motors wind up, and that's when you can let off the button. So there you go, you hear the motors wind up, so you're at your full extension, and then to rewind them back up, it's the same thing. Once you hear the motors wind up again, that is when they're going to cut out. You got your first entryway door here. We're going to be entering through this door today because the rear one is for just the bathroom, but we'll go over that once we finish the rest of the outside. Got your hot water service port, pulling that cover down. You get that pressure relief valve. You should pull that guy. There should be a shot of water coming out of there, letting you know that the tank's full. We currently have the tank empty, drained, and winterized. that's why there's no water coming through, and that's why it wouldn't be safe to fire right now. Otherwise, you do run the risk of burning it out. 1.1/8" drain bolt right down there at the bottom, pulling that guy out. That's how you can drain the fresh tank. You got your furnace exhaust. Whenever your furnace is running, this will be blowing out hot air, so just be mindful of that. Fridge service port, a couple plugins in case you wanted to mount a TV, which you already have the mount here for. Cable outlet. You're gonna have your rear bathroom door. It does have its own entrance, which is kind of nice in case you have guests or a party or something. And then this last compartment, lifting it up, it is on its own gas struts. You got a TV mounted outside here as well already. Not sure why it's on. And then, of course, mini fridge, but that is only going to work whenever you're hooked up to shore power. And then you do have water outside here as well. So again, that's going to be an important thing to winterize when it comes time to it. Of course, we have already done that for you for the next time. Now to take a step on inside, you're just going to take that assist handle, push it up, hold it at 90 degrees. It's going to lock it into place. It's going to allow you to open up the door. You do have to have your door open all the way for the stairs. Sorry, you do have to have your door open. The stairs are going to come down. Allow you to take a step on inside. First thing you notice off on the right is that fire extinguisher, which is just like home, pull pin and shoot. Up on this side here, flipping this guy open, you do got some plugins. That's giving you a great little spot to put your phone, plug it in. Or you got this to flip open, in which case you got your 2 slide out controls as well as your awning control. We'll put out that awning first. You just hold that extend button, the awning's gonna start making its way out. Once the awning is at its full extension, which we might not get to today, you're gonna see the back of the metal tube, the little flap hang down. So that is about all we're gonna be able to go out today, just because of due to space. But if we're to start raining, you can take any arm front or rear, pull, push in and pull down, lock and tighten up that wheel. Now that's changing the pitch of the awning head, allowing water to now run off. Now if you like that angle better, you can do the same thing with the front arm. Just make sure before you go to bring your awning in, you do loosen these guys off and allow both arms to go back to their natural resting position before you bring the awning in. And bringing the awning in is as simple as pushing and holding the button. And once it contacts the side of the trailer, the motors will automatically cut out. A couple notes about the awning. Whenever you do put it out, always keep an eye on the wind speeds. Once they do start picking up, it's going to be pretty important that you roll that in, otherwise it does act much like a wind sail and you're probably going to rip your fabric or bend your arms. It gets pretty expensive pretty quick, something you don't want to avoid. Now let's say you had to roll it in while it was wet. It isn't the end of the world, but try and remember at your next earliest convenience to roll it back out so you don't accelerate the growth of mold and mildew. Then you get your 2 different slide out controls, pushing and holding the button. You've got the rear slide out going out first. It's always a good idea. I know it's going to be hard with the back slide, but especially for the front slide, just to give it a quick visual check, make sure nothing's shifted during travel. That way nothing gets caught between the slide out, and of course on the outside, just making sure you do have enough space to fully put the slide out without running it into anything. Whenever you're operating your slide out, it's always a good idea to do full strokes if you can. We know that's not always possible, but a full stroke is just easier on everything. And you hold that slide out's at its full extension, you hear the motors wind up and cut out. There you go. Now you got this main one. Again, just making sure nothing's going to get caught between the slide, watching it, making sure it's going out nice and even. All the lights inside this unit are going to be on their own center push buttons. For the most part, the bathroom will be on its own switch though. There you are, it's your full extension. You can take a start in the bedroom here, turning the light switch on. It's a pretty standard bedroom. All the blinds here are going to work the same way pretty much. They just kind of sit in the room, retract them back up to retract them back up. Whenever you're using any of the storage throughout this unit, because there is tons of it, just be mindful of drains, water lines, and things like that. You're not going to be wanting to affect any of that. You got your entertainment center. It's going to be pretty much just like home. Not much I need to show you there. In the slide out space, in case you had some more guests that didn't fit inside the bunk space, this does turn down into a bed. You just have to remove the feet from underneath the table, set the tabletop on its desired ledges, take your back cushions to fill in the center, and I believe this couch also turns down into a bed. You're just having to pick up, oh sorry, this doesn't, it is a fixed couch, never mind. In your kitchen area, sink, stove. This is a gas stove, so before you ever try to light anything gas, whether that be your water heater, furnace, or fridge, it's always a good idea when you, because whenever you turn off the stove at the front of the unit, or the propane at the, whenever you turn off the propane at the front of the unit, it allows air into the system slowly. Once air makes its way in, it does have to be purged out. Now the quickest, easiest way to do that is by firing up your stove first thing, because you get to decide how many sequences it tries to light for, how long the gas valve lights for. The fridge, the furnace, or the water heater will only try lighting themselves a couple times. If it doesn't sense a flame, it's going to throw a fault code. If you don't know what the fault code means, it's going to throw a little wrench into your weekend. So just come to your stove first thing, but just taking a note, because it's gas, being safe about it, and because this unit has gas equipped, get your LP detector right here near the ground. If this guy ever starts going off, don't panic. Just turn off the main supply of propane at the front of the unit, open up some windows and vents, and get some fresh oxygen inside of here. But now again, whenever you're running this gas valve on, always making sure that you hit that sparker every few seconds, because if you're not, and you have a buildup of gas build up, there could be a minor combustion and your face was nearby. You might lose some eyebrows and eyelashes. So again, you're seeing right now that it does take a few minutes to get the propane going sometimes. Of course, that is if the propane's on, which I'll be right back. I don't think I did turn it on. Again, just being safe, operating that sparker every few seconds. That way, if there is gas that starts to come out, it lights right away instead of building up and causing a combustion. There you go. So you got that one lighter sparker going. Second one. Like I said, as long as you're operating that sparker every few seconds, there should be no buildup of gas and you won't get a poof. Like I said, sometimes it can take a couple tries. But you get the point. Everything does light up. The oven, it's kind of the same deal, but you do have to have a barbecue lighter handy. Okay, take it, push it over to the pilot option, push and hold the knob in. Give it a few seconds, take your lighter, come to the back gas orifice over here. Hold your lighter underneath it. As soon as you get that pilot light going and you're able to let off the button without it going out, you can turn it up to your desired temperature. It does fire right on up. I will note that right behind here, this is the access to your water heater for winterization. Turn those bypass valves. Got your fridge freezer combo. Controls for that are all up top. Power button, turn it on. Whenever it's in auto, it'll first search for shore power. If shore power is taken away, it'll automatically switch over to gas. Of course, that being if you have the gas turned on and the system purged. If you want it to run solely on gas, you do just have to depress that button. Now the fridge is going to try going through a lighting sequence. If it were to fail the light, you get a check light on here. It's probably going to start beeping. So you might just have to retry it. Again, it could just be a purging issue. But as long as you fire up that stove, usually it happens pretty quickly. Whenever you have had your fridge on for a few days, let's say you're leaving the unit for a while, It's not a good idea to leave these doors closed whenever you park and you're leaving it. Leave these doors open, put some towels inside because there is going to be condensation that builds up from it de-thawing, and it's going to cause mold, the growth of mold if you left it closed and not dry. You got your main breaker fuse panel right down below there. Whenever a breaker trips, it'll sit in the middle, so you just have to turn it off and then back on again to set it. All your corresponding fuses will be on the right. Right here, you got your thermostat for the unit. Pushing the button once, you go into fan. Whenever you're in the fan mode, pushing up or down, you can choose between your different modes. I always recommend leaving it in the auto setting, and the reason being is it then turns it into an on-demand system, so it'll kick the air conditioner in and out as needed based off of what you have the room set to, and that same thing goes for the furnace. If you have the fan setting in either low or high, the fan does run full time continuously until you actually manually turn it off. And it's also going to be important for lighting the furnace to be on auto, because if you were to leave it on high or low and then you go to fire up the furnace, the air conditioner fan is still going to continuously run. Now the furnace moves all its air through the floor portals you have throughout the unit, and there is only one fan speed. The air conditioner moves its air all through the ceiling ducting you have throughout. You do have the option to open up this guy and either dump it straight into the main living space, or you can close them off and move the air throughout. One more time after that, you push the button. Now that's when the cooling fact takes into effect. You can set your room temperature by pushing up or down on the buttons. And again, if you're in auto, it'll be an on-demand system. Pushing the button again, bring you into furnace. That's going to kill your air conditioner, fire up your furnace. Once your furnace does fire up, it does run for an additional 3 minutes after being turned off to allow itself time to cool down. This light in here, got some storage space behind you, and then you get into your side of your bathroom. The light is on your right. It's a pretty standard bathroom, minus the fact of on the wall here, you do get your main GFI plug. You got reset on one side, test on the other. If you ever have an outlet that doesn't work, 90% of the plugs are ran through GFI, so just double check that that isn't tripped. And again, you get your own little entrance back here. And last but not least, we are taking a step into the bunk space. Again, the lights are just going to be on their own center push buttons. Once you're in the bunk space, you do got a couple of options. In case if you only had one kid, I guess, you could have one kid up there. You got a TV mounted down here. Tons of storage space throughout. This ladder, it does fold out. But for the slide out to come fully in without causing any damage, that you always have to remember to suck this ladder in. Otherwise, again, you're going to be causing damage to your slide out. This option here, this does fold down into a bed. You just have to pick it up, fold it down like so, to get it back. It's just as simple as doing the opposite. Then you got another bunk up top. You just have to remove the safety latch, pull it towards you, and it does flop on down. And again, you have another mattress. Now that is going to be it for this unit here. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call.